Hey guys, so today's video is going to be my pregnancy update for weeks 35 and 36. We've had yet another eventful couple of weeks, but I'm going to jump right into it. If my voice sounds a little funny, I have been sick for the last week or so. So there's that. That's not really pregnancy related, but it's definitely made things a little more miserable than they probably had to be. I guess I might as well start with like the big deal, I guess. Contractions started Easter Sunday, which I was only 35 weeks and a few days at that point. 35 weeks and 3 days to be exact. They started at about 7 a.m. Easter Sunday, right after we did our Easter egg hunt, because of course Max got up super early. He was really excited that the Easter bunny had come. And they stayed about an hour apart pretty consistently for the whole day and into Monday. So just because I would have been so early at 35 weeks, we went into the hospital to get checked out on Monday, and we noticed that the baby's heart rate was a little higher than it has been throughout this whole pregnancy. It was about 154 beats per minute, and it's been at about 140 to as low as 135-ish throughout the pregnancy. So it's quite a bit higher. So we were worried about that, like maybe the baby would be in a little bit of distress, but he seems to be fine now. And I did get checked, and Monday I was still 0 centimeters dilated, which I mean is really good, but it was really frustrating since I had been having contractions for probably about 36 hours by the time we actually went to the hospital. And they weren't Braxton Hicks because, like I said, they were an hour apart almost exactly, and then sometimes they would speed up and then return back to an hour apart, and there was definitely some significant discomfort associated with them. So it was kind of disappointing that wasn't real labor, because this is definitely not my experience with my first baby. Max, my water broke without any real warning, for me at least. I mean, I must have been having some really slight contractions, but nothing that I was really feeling, and my water just broke randomly, and then he was here in like 7.5, 8 hours. So I definitely did not have this like uncomfortable contractions for days at a time. He decided to come really quickly, which was actually really great. So contractions stayed about an hour apart for about 3 or 4 days, and then they pretty much died off. I mean, even still I'm having contractions, and they're the same, like really strong, uncomfortable ones that I need to actually stop walking and breathe through, but they're not really consistent anymore, which is great. And I had my doctor's appointment last Wednesday, and we had to obviously discuss me having contractions since the Sunday previous, and I was basically put on bed rest. It's not a strict bed rest because it not being my first kid, like I have responsibilities. I have a house to keep clean. I need to go get Max from school every day. Like I cannot actually stay in bed all the time. So what I've been doing is basically just relaxing as much as possible. I will do like a handful of dishes, like maybe all of the cups or all of the plates and cutlery at a time, and then, you know, go put my feet up. Just sitting doesn't really do anything. I need to actually like put my feet up, lay down, have a rest, and that seems to be working so far. Contractions start again as soon as I'm walking for any period of time. We went to the grocery store and it was really rough, and we were only there for a few minutes. I just needed to pick up my prenatal vitamins, and I wanted some popsicles because my throat hurts. And the contractions started all over again, so I had to go lay down for probably an hour or more to get them to stop. So bed rest has been really frustrating for me. I feel lazy and bored and uncomfortable, because even just laying down all the time, it really is not comfortable for my pelvis either, since I have to lay on either side. I don't have like a reclining chair or couch or anything. Like, I either need to be laying down or sitting up basically, unless I'm propped up with pillows. But if it keeps this baby in here longer so that he is healthy, then obviously that is what's best. So I'm trying to not complain too much, but bed rest has been really frustrating for me. Secondly, his heart rate was still elevated on Wednesday when I went for my doctor's appointment. So as I said, it was elevated on Monday when I went to get checked at the hospital, and then elevated still on Wednesday at my doctor's appointment, and my heart rate has been elevated as well. I've had low blood pressure this entire pregnancy, and my blood pressure was actually in the like normal range at this doctor's appointment, which I mean is great, but that shows an increase in blood pressure, and my heart rate has been high as well. The contractions have definitely been putting some kind of stress on both my body and the baby, so that was another reason why we were put on bed rest. Even still, I can tell that my heartbeat is faster than I'm used to. I don't really know if that makes sense. It's not like, oh, I just went running up and down the stairs, my heart is beating fast. It just feels like really uncomfortable. Even in a resting position, like I can be laying down for 2 hours and my heart rate still feels like it's going a little bit too fast. So when I got my belly, or my uterus, I guess to be more accurate, measured at my last doctor's appointment, my doctor kind of made a confused looking face, which made me feel quite unsettled, obviously, and then she had to go refer back to my chart on her computer, and now she's saying he is much smaller than she would like, which I find really confusing, I guess, and almost like bad news. She didn't say it like there's anything particularly wrong, but she would have thought that he'd be bigger by now, considering that at both my dating ultrasound, which was at about like 8 or 9 weeks, and my like anatomical ultrasound at 20 weeks, he was measuring much bigger than he like should have been, which also wasn't really that big of a deal, but he was just measuring as a large baby, and now she's saying that he's smaller than she would like. So I don't know if his growth has stunted. She didn't schedule another ultrasound or anything, which would kind of ease my mind, but I could understand that at this point he is like so big and squished in there, it'd be hard to measure anything anyways. But my weight gain has been like on target this whole time. When I measure myself, like girth wise, like around, I have been getting consistently bigger, as you guys can see, and I'm not really gaining any fat that I can tell right now. So I'm not really sure where like this discrepancy lies, I guess. I'm obviously concerned about it, and I guess we will just have to see at my next doctor's appointment, which is actually tomorrow, how he's measuring now, because this whole time I've been expecting to have this like huge giant child at the end of 40 weeks, and now they're telling me that he might even be smaller than he should be. So actually, I don't know if he's going to be smaller than he should be in an average like sort of way, or just he's smaller than she thinks that he should be based on how big he was at the halfway point at 20 weeks. So I'm going to ask for clarification on that tomorrow, which, like I said, is my next doctor's appointment. And then obviously because of all that, my doctor said she is quite concerned that if I went into active labor right now, it would be a cause for concern, I guess. She wouldn't want that. They would probably try and stop it, even though I am quite far along in my pregnancy. Just because of the heart rate, the growth, like all these factors. She feels that he should obviously stay inside of my body a little longer, which I agree, but I'm just so ready to be done. She said I have to at least make it to 37 weeks, which is actually this coming Thursday. I'm really hoping for a May baby. I'm not due until May 18th, so even if he was born on May 1st, like that would still be very early. But it's kind of selfish of me, but not at the same time. I want a May baby because I have a whole lot of family members that are born in April. I feel like everybody's birthday is in April. I really hope that he can wait at least until May. And I mean, May's just around the corner now. I'd be 37 and a half weeks like May 1st. So it's really not that much longer compared to my like minimum mark for going into labor. And the longer he's in there, the bigger, the healthier he's going to be. So I'm just going to extend my bed rest a little bit and continue taking it easy. She has basically said that I only need to be on bed rest until I hit 37 weeks, and then she would be okay if I went into labor. So I was planning on going on long walks, buying raspberry leaf tea, like I was planning on getting all of the stuff, but I think I'm going to try and keep him in here until May at least. I think that is everything I wanted to talk about. Like I said, it was quite an eventful few weeks. That's all I have written down. If it's not written down, it doesn't get talked about because pregnancy brain is a real thing. Just quickly to go over measurements, at both 35 and 36 weeks, I was 45¼ inches. So I haven't gotten any bigger. I, of course, haven't measured myself for the following week because I'm actually filming this video on time, as I am 36 and 5 days today. So I am filming it maybe one day earlier than I would have liked, but I had time to film it today, and the way this pregnancy is going, it's just been full of surprises lately. So when I had time, I wanted to make sure to sit down and fill you guys in. I'm sure things aren't going to change that much in the next few days. So I guess it is time to show you guys the bump. So I haven't gotten any bigger around the last 2 weeks. And it's probably hard to tell with this polka dot sweater. Oh, I also didn't mention on Wednesday when I was put on bed rest that morning, I moved up my maternity pictures to that evening. I wanted to make sure I got some, just in case things progressed. But I will be sharing that with you guys probably in the next video on this channel, actually, if I get them back in time. So this is what the bump looks like. I'm wearing the side panel jeans. I really am not the biggest fan of these, but I'm getting a lot more stretch marks right here still, even though I've continued to apply lotion and oil. I'll show you guys closer in a second. And the line has extended to below my belly button. I'm not sure if you guys can see that from there either, but I'll come a little closer. Still crooked as always, so his back is over here, and this side must be limbs, as he has been like this whole pregnancy. Basically he just like flops back and forth and then like pulls my belly either way, but like you can still see my ribs, so I don't know, hopefully I won't have too much baby weight to lose. Let's see if I can show you guys. Like these are new stretch marks. The sun is reflecting off of me as usual because of all the oils and stuff I keep applying, but they're not really helping, so I can't imagine how much worse it can get. And then here is the dark line, and you can see what I mean, where it like bows out, kind of like my whole belly does really. And then the line extends past my belly button. Sorry if the camera's wobbly, I've now tipped it and I'm holding it. But yeah, these are all my old stretch marks from Max. And then these really dark purple marks are the ones that are newer. And it's kind of hard to tell, but I have a flat, sorry. I have like a flat spot right here, and it's like purpley. This is where like the newer stretch marks I thought were coming, but it's actually really sore to touch. So I wonder if there's some muscle separation happening there. Okay, so I think that is everything I had to share with you. Again, keep an eye out for my maternity pictures. I think I'm just going to do kind of like a slideshow collage with some music over it or something. But that would be, like I said, hopefully the next video. I'm still waiting to get the pictures back, of course, but make sure you're following me on Instagram, as I'll be posting a few pictures on there as well, because I do have 5 back. But we took hundreds really, so maybe I'll post a few on Instagram as a little bit of a sneak peek. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!